In the mesmerizing world of magic and mentalism, Suhani Shah isn't just another performer. She's a maestro of illusion, a sorcerer of the mind. From her enchanting debut at the age of just seven to reaching over 5,000 shows worldwide, her journey is truly inspirational. Also known as the Jadoo Pari, she has woven her enchanting touch not only on live performances but also on the canvas of the internet as well. Today, we're here not just to witness the magic, we're here to explore the mind bending journey of one of India's most captivating figures, Miss Suhani Shah. Ma'am, it's an immense honor for us to welcome you here today to gnoTalks 2024 as we dive into your inspiring story.
That's such a good intro. Thank you so much. That makes me feel very good.
So, starting with the very first question, mentalism seems like a superpower, as if directly drifting out of a piece of fiction. But, ma'am, you have mentioned that it's the art of creating the illusion of reading minds, and that you do it through elements like showmanship, confidence, and linguistic deception. Could you please delve deeper into how these elements intertwine to create the experience of mentalism?
Basically, mentalism is an art form. It's a subgenre of magic. So magic is like the parent category and mentalism is a subcategory of magic. So there are many other subgenres like there's street magic, conjuring, parlor magic, blindfolds, escape artists. So that's all are subgenres of magic. So mentalism is a part of it. Now mentalism basically uses, as you mentioned in that only already, that there's a lot of showmanship, there's a lot of influence, there's a lot of linguistic deception. When I say linguistic deception, it means like how बातों बातों में हम किसी को जो सोचवाना है वो सोचवा देते हैं और उनको पता नहीं चलता कि they are being influenced by the language. There's also a lot of trickery involved. So it's a combination, depending on what act is being performed, it's a combination of multiple tricks or multiple effects to create that particular illusion that we are trying to create in mentalism. So that's how it works.
That was really insightful, ma'am. Moving on to the next question. Ma'am, during many of your interviews, you have effortlessly read the minds of the audience members, even when prompted randomly. So does your mind stay in the constant state of mentalism mode even outside your performances? And do you use your art in your everyday life as well?
Not really. I mean, it's like a painter can paint anytime, but it's not really always painting. And a teacher can teach anytime, but it's not always teaching. Similarly, I can give an illusion of reading minds and I can do those bits. I'm not constantly doing it because it can become a hindrance to my day-to-day life. But a lot of things happen naturally, like whether a person is lying or saying the truth, or when I tell them to think about something, whether they went into the past to think or to the future to think. So these things can be figured out with micro expressions, and a lot of different things are there. So basics, of course, can be identified, but also to be able to identify those things, I have to be extremely observant all the time. And I don't want to be that observant all the time. Sometimes you just want to let loose and just let go and just dekho kya ho raha hai. So yeah, I have to be in very here and now when I want to do it. My previous biases cannot get involved because then that can mess up the moment and how I'm reading the person. Because if my personal judgment comes into person, I might into picture, I might not be able to read or understand the things well. So a lot of things are there. I have to be in the here and now. I have to be extremely observant. Also, doing it all the time is not fun. Like I know a lot of people have asked me this and they think यार ये तो क्या मजा आता होगा यार पता ही चल जा रहा है इसको दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है. Not really true. If you sometimes if you know more than what the other person wants to convey, it takes away the fun of the conversation. So sometimes you just want to, like I always say this, I believe what people say. And that's how I want to live. I don't want to understand what's going on in their mind because that's the picture they want to show. And it always helps. It helps to be more clear with them.
Anyhow, that must be a really crazy experience for people who live in your proximity.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to the next question. What stands out as the greatest achievement in your 27-year-old career in the field of magic? And have you ever experienced any moments when you felt like you have made a significant impact or change in someone's life?
A lot of these events have happened in my life. One event I've spoken about it several times was in Nasik, which changed my life, where a person who had lost hope to live life and had done a lot of things which were not pro-life, let's say. So when he walked up to me and asked me to save his life using my magical powers, and that was quite shocking because I was like 12 years old. And then of course we did something made water appear, gave it to him, asked him to drink. He drank, he felt better, gave him like a 2-month thing. And then 2 months later, I receive a postcard saying how the water saved his life. Now, I've spoken about this story in detail. You can just search it online. Many such incidences have happened. In fact, my inbox is filled with such questions about, can you tell us what my mother's thinking? She's in coma. Or my child is autistic. Can you tell us what is he thinking in his mind? So a lot of these questions keep coming in. That's become pretty much of my life now. If I have to put out one moment that stands out in this 27-year career, honestly, I don't have one moment. There's so many moments that have been created over the years that have made me what I am. And there's so many moments. But every time that I go on stage, I mean, I'm a 6-year-old kid in my head when I'm going on stage. So every time before I'm going on stage, I'm still very excited, and that moment is like the biggest moment. So if I perform today over here, if you would have seen me backstage, I was very excited. I was like, abhi stage pe jaate hain, abhi ye karte hain. And every time I'm on stage, I feel it's just home. It's just comfortable. So coming from a lifestyle where I have been performing as a kid almost every day, it becomes like having dinner. Like how we have dinner every night. So for me, for my entire teenage, my childhood has been, even my till my mid-20s, it's been like I perform every day, like literally every day. In like 10 months, I'm just performing continuously. So sometimes it's 2 shows a day, 3 shows a day. So it's become like a part of my lifestyle. It doesn't feel like work. So it's not like my performance is separate from my life. It's just now intertwined. So it's just fun. I'm just having fun. And if I'm not performing for a very long time, it feels like, "Arey, bhook lag rahi hai. Matlab, what is this? Why is my dinner taken away from me?" So the feelings like that, of course. So, yeah.
That's some really inspiring experience, ma'am. Moving on, even adults often struggle with uncertainty when it comes to choosing a career path. Despite this, you left your formal schooling in just 2nd grade to pursue your passion for magic. What inspired and instilled such unwavering courage in you to choose magic as your career?
I was very passionate even as a kid that I want to do magic. I always want to do something very different. And then I watched a magic program on television and I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. I want to be that magician. My parents were very supportive, so they helped me. Magic became, as I said, magic became lifestyle. It wasn't a profession earlier. It was just my passion being followed. But then my father also had this thing, कि अगर कुछ करना है तो best तरीके से करो वरना मत करो. So it wasn't like performing magic in schools or birthday parties. It had to be like on a grand scale, because that's what my father believed in. And so they supported me also, and they also helped me make a show that was at that level. And once the show started, you had to sustain them. And to sustain them, you had to keep performing them. So eventually, after first few years, slowly the passion started turning into profession. And even so, then after a few years, like I think my mid-teens, like 16, 17, magic just became lifestyle. Because by the time I was 17, I had performed magic for 10 years. It's a decade of performing at the age of 17. So it was like privilege in terms of stage time. Like today, how, we try to get open mics for 5 minutes. And for me, being on stage for 10 years at the age of 17 already there's a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of drama. Too much happened even as a child. But still too happy about getting that. After that, I did try to do many other things. It's not that I only did magic and I didn't do anything else. I did try many other things. I'm a professional diver. I've written books on psychology, human behavior. I ran a center in Goa. I worked as a de-addiction specialist. I became a streamer during pandemic. So I've done a lot of other things as well. But every time I do a different thing, I feel like, oh, my passion is still magic. So it's not that I did not try anything else. I keep trying. I still keep trying many things. And I'm very open that is there anything else I love more than performing magic? So far, I haven't found anything else. And I'm happy. I'm happy doing what I do.
Your story is definitely a true story of resilience. As you often refer to mentalism as an ancient Indian practice, that it obviously is. Could you please share your perspective on whether spirituality has a role to play in it?
I think spirituality has a role to play in our life in general, not just as an art form. But if you talk about like particularly art form of mentalism, and if you're trying to connect spirituality in terms of supernatural powers and stuff like that, then no, it doesn't play a role in that particular sense, if you're asking me. I feel mentalism, magic is an art form. And there are many other art forms like painting, singing, dancing. So many other art forms, performing arts are there in our country, world over. And just like that, magic is an art form. It's a very ancient art form. It's a very ancient Indian art form. I think the first, as far as we can go, I think the first mention of magic has been in the 6th century, way before. Like I don't have the exact time, but it's very old. And I've seen how Indian magic had taken over the world at one particular time. And I wish that time comes back again.
That was some really great perspective, ma'am, and we all hope we can learn from it. Moving on to the last question, ma'am. You've got quite the portfolio. You're a mentalist, a hypnotherapist, a YouTuber, a streamer, a corporate trainer, an author, and a TEDx speaker as well. And the list just goes on. So what's the next big thing, the next challenge that Suhani Shah wants to conquer?
Oh, damn. Honestly, even the things that you mentioned, it was never like, the idea was never like, chalo jaake next challenge pura karte hain. As I said, I'm just a simple girl who's following my passion. And if things come it's just that weird thing, no? Like we are young, we like to follow things, we like, just whatever comes my way, I would just take it with full excitement, and I want to pursue it, and I want to do well in it, and I want to move on to the next bit. So if anything new comes my way, I'm all out there. If it excites me, I would want to do it. So yeah, I think whatever comes next, I think I'll be as surprised as you'll be once I know it. So I don't know. As of now, I know I'm doing magic and I'm very happy with it.
Ma'am, your personality is really too dynamic to say the least.
Thank you.
Getting into conversation with such a talented personality like Suhani Shah has been a privilege for our institute and gnoTalks 2024. Her life will continue to be an exemplary one for all those who aspire to venture out of the conventional ways of the society and carve out a path of their own. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to you, ma'am, for sparing your invaluable time for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys, and thank you everybody for watching.